Annie, today we are going to talk about initial vowel change. We've already talked about initial consonant change, so this is similar, but it actually alters the meaning of words. So unlike initial consonant change, which is more of a speech rule for just the sound of things, this one changes something from uh, a descriptive action to a specific person doing the action. I believe it's called participle. Participle. I can't say that word. Participle form. Sorry. All right. So, for example, we would have this. This is for VAI and VTI verbs. It does work with VTAs, but we haven't covered those yet, and it works with VIIs, but the ending in B form is a little different in VII verbs. So we're just talking about VAIs, verb, action, intransitive. So the description of someone doing an action, but no transfer of action to another person or object. And VTIs, verb, transitive, inanimate, when a person is acting on an inanimate object, or an animate being is acting on an inanimate object. So what this does is follows certain rules. It's always the first vowel or vowel set in a word that will change. That's why it's called initial vowel change. This also applies to time tenses. That's why when we have gi for past tense, and we have we future desirative, and we have ga future definitive, like inga, I will definitely do it. We end up with ga, wa, and ge. These happen in B and C form. I apologize, my cat is being loud. So you notice double I over here changes to a double A. Double I to double A, and then single A changes to an E, and that's where we get ga, wa, and ge. Those are our time tenses. We'll get to that right now, though. I want to start with our verbs. So let's see. We know that our word, I'm going to use this, bindige, means he or she enters. And when you apply initial vowel change to this verb, you get the one who is, the one who is entering. It's just bringing a different level of specificity to what you were trying to say. And I'll give an example of a sentence where this would apply, so that way it makes more sense. Context helps. So looking at our chart, double I becomes double A, and so it becomes bondigate. But bondigate. And the other thing that we do is we add the B form ending. So we would want to pull up your VAI paradigms and look for third person ween B form ending. And so that is a D. It ends with D. Just like when I'm talking about, oh, when he or she entered, that would be gi bindigade, when he or she entered. It's a dependent clause, so that's why you're using B form. Over here, when we're talking about the one who is entering, we do initial vowel change, and then we give it the B form ending. So it's still like a complete sentence. But it uses these two things together, and this is actually called C form, participle form. So that's what we're doing here. It's initial vowel change plus B form ending plus C form. Okay. So you might be sitting at a table talking with someone, and they go, "Oh, who is that? Awenen, wow." Or sorry, Awenen A'au. Who is that? And you're trying to figure out which person in a crowd they might be referring to, and you're like, Awenen, who? And they'd say, "Oh, Bondigate, the one that is entering, the one that's coming in right now." You could say, "Oh, me, Fred," or whatever. That's Fred. He's the one coming in. Fred Bondigate. He is the one who is entering. So that's where this form comes in. It's kind of a way to answer those who questions. There are other applications as well. I wonder, like, I'm not, like, you could also use it as a negative form, like, I'm not the one who made a mess. Like, he or she makes a mess, and then I'm not the one who. And like, I'm trying to figure out how to say that. I don't remember. Give me a second here. Make a mess. Ombwewe binige. So for example, it works with the negative form. You don't need gawin, just like in B form, you don't need gawin, but you use the negative B form ending. So if I wanted to say, I am not the one who made a mess, I would use initial vowel change plus B form negative ending. This is different than saying, I didn't make the mess. If it's, though either of them are correct, in this case, it would be like, no, even though he said it was me, I'm not the one who did it. So it would just be, our word is ombwewe benege. Ombwewe ben. I'm gonna run out of room here. Way been okay. And so what we do is we look at what it starts with. It starts with O. O changes to WE. So it becomes way binige. And then our negative B form ending is for I or me is si wan. Wembwewe binige suan. I'm not the one who made a mess. And that's pretty neat because it's one long word that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That needs 9 words in English to mean the equivalent thing. All right, so the written lesson in the Google Classroom has exercises with an answer key at the end where you can practice doing this, but let's do a couple more. So let's say someone's asking, which one is Johnny? Or Awenen A'au Johnny, who's Johnny? And you could say, Johnny Washkine be igate. Johnny is the one coloring right now. So our word mushkine be ige means he or she colors. Mushkine be ige. That's a VAI verb. We're talking about Johnny. Johnny is ween or third person. And so we would put the B form ending on the end. Let's see. And that B form positive ending is just a D. And then we would look at our first vowel. Our first vowel follows the M and it's this double O. Double O becomes wa. And so this is wa. Washkine bi'igate Johnny. Johnny is the one who's coloring. Now, if you wanted to bring a past tense into it, let's say Awinin wa'au. Awinin wa'au Benesi. Who is Benesi? We could say Benesi was the one who threw a ball. You know, you're out on the playground with some kids and they're like, oh, Benesi's the one who just threw the ball. So we would use a pugadoon. He or she throws it. Can you see that? I'm writing small. I'm sorry. Pugadoon. That's a VTI, meaning throw it. And then we need past tense, and that would be gi, a pugadoon, and then I'm just going to add bikwakwood. That's a word for a ball. Wood. So right now, this sentence means he is the one who threw the ball. Or no, it doesn't. Sorry, he threw the ball. Sorry. Yeah, gi pugadoon bikwakwood. He threw the ball. So if you're trying to be specific and be like, oh, Benesi's the one who threw the ball, you would say, you would put your B form ending. Benesi is again ween, third person. So we need to drop this N and put a D there, because that's what your VTI paradigms show for VTI B form, ween, third person. And we change the initial vowel, but pay attention, now this is a hyphenated word, so gi is part of this word. Our initial vowel is no longer the first vowel in the verb. Our initial vowel goes back to the double I in our time tense. And so it becomes ga. Double I changes to double A. And it's ga, a pugadood, quackwood. He is the one who threw the ball. And I hope that makes sense. Now, let's say we wanted to ask about more than one person doing it, like more than one, they're the ones who are throwing the ball. We still have bikwakwood. It's still in past tense, so our initial vowel change is still ga. Gi becomes ga. But now, since we're talking about they, plural, more than one he or she, we need to use winawa, B form ending. And so if you look at your VTI paradigms and you scroll down to the next to last one, for our VTIs that end in un, it becomes ga a pugaduwad. Our B form ending for winawa is wad. Ga pugaduwad the quackwood. They are the ones who were throwing the ball. Now, let's say they weren't supposed to be doing that, and you wanted to say they are not the ones who are throwing the ball. Again, you don't need gawin in front. This sentence is great. We just need to change the ending to the negative form. The negative form for VTI verbs ending in un Winawa is sigwa. So only the ending changes for the persons. And then you have which vowels change to what. So it's still past tense. Double I changes to double A. So gi becomes ga. Past tense, da apagadu sigwa. The quaquad, they are not the ones who were throwing the ball. Not these guys, it was someone else. So that's how that works. Let's see. Now, this can also happen if you're looking at like children's books in Ojibwe. I think I have what I want to show you here. Like in these books, we have a lot of stories that are in Ojibwe, and you'll be seeing like this B form here all the time. We have ga right there, or yeah, you see ga quite a bit. You'll also see wa quite a bit. But let's say that you come across a word and you're not sure what it means, and you try to look it up in the dictionary. The dictionary only shows you the root forms. So you have to peel off that B form ending, and then you have to make sure that the initial vowel change is not there. So that means you'd have to go backwards. So let's say that you have two words. You come across a kid, dod, and you come across a no heed. Now, you can consult your VTI, VAI paradigms and see if there are any endings in D. Well, you would first look up these words and they don't come up in the dictionary. So since they don't come up in the dictionary, we're going to try peeling off the endings. So we're going to take off that D. We know they're talking about he or she, that third person. So now we have a kido and a no ki. So we're talking about ween. And then you look over here, which words change to E, or which vowels change to E? We have one here and one here. Uh-oh. So now two of them become E. So this means that our word is either, let's see, akido or ikido, because our E can become, or our E could have been an A or it could have been an I. And then we have enoki, which could be anoki or inoki. And then what you would do is you would look up these four words in the dictionary and see if anything comes up. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to do that. This is how you figure out words that you might not know. So let's see, share screen over here, share. I'm going to search in English and I'm going to put in a kiddo. A kiddo. And I'll search. You can also search through your paper dictionaries too. So immediately we're seeing it starts with ashe. That's much further than an AK. It's not in here. So now, oh, whoops, autocorrect, sorry. A kiddo. Stop it. Okay. Search yielded no results. So we know that it is not this one. So now let's look up ikido. Oh, we know it's not akido. You can't see my, can you? I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, ikido. We'll search in Ojibwe. Oh, and it autocorrected on me again. Ikido. Ikido means she says or speaks so. So well, I'm gonna pause my share. Wait, stop share. And we know ikido, he or she speaks. So we know that ikidod meant the one who is speaking, the one who is talking. So that's how you figure this out. But now let's figure out this next one, anoki or inoki. We're gonna search. I'm gonna share my screen again. We're gonna search anoki. Oh, autocorrect. I swear. No key. She works. So we know this one is a possibility. Let's double check inoki. Just to make sure. No, there is nothing in inoki. So our word anoki means he or she works. So we know that enoki meant the one who is working. And that's how you can go backwards to the root word with these words. You can also do that with any word that is conjugated. Let's say you've got enokian, which means when he was working, but if you didn't know what that meant, you just pull the yun off the end. Here, it's hard when I'm just talking. Got enokian. And you're like, I don't know what that means. Well, I do know that yun is a B form ending, so I'm gonna pull that right off. Now I can look up anoki because nothing over here changes to a single A. So I know that there's no initial vowel change occurring here. So I'm gonna just look up anoki. Oh, it means she or he works. So that means, and we know that yun was a B form ending for you or gin, so it meant when you are working. Now, if we had a gi in front, gi anokian, and we pull that yun off, we know she, gi anoki means she worked because of the gi, and we know that's past tense, and it has no initial vowel change. You already know what gi means, so you look up anoki, and you see, and you remember yun is the B form ending for you, and so we know gi anokian means when you were working. And that's how you go backwards. All right, and then let's see. Then there can be some tricky ones, like sometimes the word starts with the vowel, sometimes the vowel comes second, like in our word mushkine biege, that became muashkine bieged. It's always the first vowel in the phrase, but it might not start with a vowel. So let's say we have mazinabiege, mazinabiege. He or she draws, or he or she is drawing. And let's say we want to talk about us, all. That's Ginawind, that is us including you, so us inclusive. We are the ones who are drawing. We would apply our B form ending. This is a VAI. Our B form ending is young. So right now it means when we were drawing, but now we want initial vowel change. So our very first vowel in the word, not the first letter, the first vowel is A. A becomes E, and we write Mezinabiegeyam. We are the ones who are drawing. Now, I want to say we were the ones who were drawing. So we go back to our Mozambique, but now we have a past tense here. Gi, past tense, Gi Mozambique young means we were drawing. but now we were the ones who were drawing. So now looking closely, our first vowel, our initial vowel is a vowel set, and it's here because the gi becomes part of the word, the hyphenation there. Our initial vowel is no longer over here, it's this one, and it is double I becomes double A. We were the ones who were drawing. And then, so if you're familiar with the introduction that you hear a lot of people say, like, I am from, and then they put, like if someone who is from Leech Lake says, Zagasquatchame Kagin Dunjaba, they're using this word. On je ba. He or she comes from a certain place. When they say in Dunjaba, that's that form of nin that goes on the front in A form. And we add nindu or nindo to the front. It becomes indunjiba or nindunjiba. These, I put too much of a space there. Indunjiba, I come from a certain place. That's what it means. Now, in the question, where are you from? Where do you come from? Anin di or andi. Anin di. Nindi. Winjaba. We get, our word is Winjabad. So this means where. Winjabad, I'm sure you figured it out, but we're going to peel it apart and figure out what it means together. We look at this and go, okay, Anindi, where, that's an A question. We haven't gone over this yet. I think I mentioned it briefly in our B form lesson, but certain words are B form introducers. So like if you have where, what, why, or how, which is Anindi, or who, a wenen, Anin, let's see, Anina P, when, or Aniwenji, why. These always precede B form because the second part of that sentence will always be a dependent clause, dependent on this word. Where are you from? If I were to take this away and just have, are you from? You're waiting for the rest of the information to make that question or that phrase make sense. That's why it's in B form. But here we know there's a B. So here we know there's a B form ending. We know that D in B form means wean, he or she. So we're asking, where, sorry, I think I misspoke earlier. Where is he from? Is what I was asking. Where is he from? But we want to figure out what this root verb is. So we peeled off our B form ending D, and now we have Winjaba. And if you try to look up Winjaba in the dictionary, nothing is going to come up. So then you have to look at Wei and go, okay, our initial vowel change. What changes to this? Now, we could have several options here. What changes to E, I, and A? So it could be, we're going to try this. We're going to just go through this because this is what I, as a new learner, would go, okay, I'm not familiar with that word. I know that E could be I or it could be A if the word starts with W. One jiba, win jiba. Oh, it starts with W-E, and I notice O changes to W-E. So it could also be onjiba. So I would look up all three of those words in the dictionary, and I'm gonna share a screen and we're gonna do that real quick. Because this is probably something that would happen if you are looking at words in print and trying to figure things out. So I'm gonna search in Ojibwe and I'm gonna look up Wanjiba. And it says your search yielded no results. So now I'm gonna look up Winjiba. Search that. Loads. Nope, no results. So now I'm gonna look up the Onjiba. And there we go. She or he comes from a certain place. That's the root word. So now we're gonna look over here. We know Onjiba is the root word. She or he comes from a certain place. So when we have where, Wenjabad, you're saying, is he from? If you tried to put Anindi Onjiba, it wouldn't make sense. It would be saying where he is from a certain place. It would not work. So that's why you need to apply that initial vowel change and your B form ending. And this sentence, Anindi Wenjabad, is C form because you have the ICV plus B form, and that equals C form. So if you hear people talking about C form or you're looking in a book and it mentions C form, this is just what it is. Initial vowel change plus a B form ending. And let's see. So if someone says Anindi Wenjabayan, we've got our question mark word. Anindi Wenjabayan. We've got Wenjabayan. We know, you could look at your paradigms, hopefully you know it by now because someone's asking you verbally. Yun means you. We know we is initial vowel change for O, and our root is onjaba. He or she comes from a certain place. They're saying, where do you come from? Because you have yun on the end, and what this does is instead of emphasizing the person, like John is from John Onjeba Bimiji. This sentence, John Onjeba Bimiji, says John is from Bemidji. This sentence emphasizes John. This sentence over here, Anindi Wenjabayan, this initial vowel change, the C form, is emphasizing where you are from. It's not emphasizing you, it's saying where are you from? And you would answer with the place. You would say like Bemidji in Dunjaba. That is the place I'm from. So participle form emphasizes the who in the sentence or the where or the what. But it changes like, okay, I don't know. This is hard for me to explain. It's like I understand it in my head, but I'm having a hard time explaining it. So I'm sorry. I really hope I'm not going to confuse you guys. Let's see. Let me try and find a better way to explain that. So like with these verbs up here, he or she colors, he or she draws. When I changed it from he was coloring to he is the one who is coloring, I'm taking the emphasis away from the action and putting it on the person. When I take a word like he is from Onjaba and we change it to Wenjabad, that also emphasizes where he is, the person, he is the one who is from. But when I take a question marker word like Anin, the where, and I pair this question with the C form word, the initial vowel change, win, je, bad, it is emphasizing the where. I wouldn't think too hard on that. That might just send you down into a spiral of, oh no, what am I actually saying? It makes sense. I really like this form because now I can choose what I'm emphasizing, as well as like your word order in Ojibwe. In the early classes for someone who is first learning, they say word order doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in that the meaning is still coming across. It's still going to make sense. But word order can be emphasized or can be used to emphasize who or what. So like, I just went down a rabbit hole. This is not necessarily part of C form. This is just word order. Let me see here. I'm trying to think of a good sentence because now I can't. Sorry, forgive my cat for yelling. Calcifer. Let me see here. I wonder if, like, break. I think this is just a good example here. Bikoshka. Okay, so our word bikoshka. He or she. Oh no, wait, that's not the right break. I'm looking for the VTI. Break it, bikosh. Why can't I break apart? Bikoshka, break it. Break on impact. Gotta love when you have a complete brain fart here. All right. Break it. Okay. Biguan. Is that it? Break it. Using something. I'm just trying to talk about like you drop it and break it. Sorry. It fell and broke. Okay. That's not a good example then. Let's see. Ikwe, the girl or the woman. Ikwe, we budget tune one. This sentence means the woman wants to use a spoon. This emphasizes that it is the woman who wants to use the spoon. Now, we budget tune we budget tune away. This one, I added a pointer word. I added that. So, she wants to use it, that spoon. The woman, she wants to use it, the woman wants to use that spoon. It means the same thing in English, but in Ojibwe, it's emphasizing she wants to use it. She doesn't want to throw it. She doesn't want to wash it. She wants to use it because this is the word that comes first. Now, the other one that you could say is quanates. We Abajitun ikwe. This one emphasizes the spoon. She wants to use a spoon, not a fork, not a knife, not a bowl. She wants to use a spoon. That's what word order does in Ojibwe. So no matter what way you say it, like a lot of new learners will say it in the same word order as English. They just directly translate it from she or the woman wants to use a spoon. So they would say the woman, ikwe, wants or we to use abajatun, the spoon, emekwanits. And so even though that emphasizes that it's the woman that wants to use the spoon, not the man, not the girl, not the cat, the speaker will or the listener will understand that you are talking about someone wanting to use a spoon. And they would probably be like, yeah, sure, use the spoon. Abajatun, or abajatun, emekwanits. They can use the spoon. So not a big deal, but still a pretty cool facet of the language for how emphasis works. It's not as much of a tone-based emphasis. Like in English, you could say the woman wants to use the spoon, or you could say the woman wants to use the spoon, or you could say the woman wants to use the spoon. You wouldn't have to say the fork. You would just say the woman wants to use the spoon. And the person who's like grabbing the fork will immediately understand, oh, wrong utensil, I need to grab the spoon. We emphasize in English with tone of voice. And in Ojibwe, we emphasize with word order. So I hope that is helpful. In your lesson in Google Classroom, there are exercises to try. There's the answer key at the end of the document, and then there's also a companion lesson in transparent language. Please make sure you're doing those. They will also help with pronunciation and speaking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me or post them in the classroom. Bye.